Hi. So anyway, I had another good, productive Monday. But being a temp is a little challenging. Yeah, it's always been fun working, but getting a temp job, that's a different thing. I don't know how many people out there are familiar with how temp agencies work, but you basically earn half what the job is worth. And that's where I am right now. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this because ultimately I was on my own for a dozen years. I'm trying to break my way back into the work environment more traditionally. And I've realized working for what I'm being paid is difficult because I gave up what I had going on because I was recognizing a deterioration in the quality of work that was coming in. I'm maintaining my 800 number, and the calls that are coming in now are lower quality than they used to be. So that's why I realized, in fact, I think I probably should have started looking more for work a year earlier than I did. So I had to leave temping as an option, but I'm essentially getting paid half of what this job is. And it's getting hard because I need to pay my bills, and I'm having trouble doing that without a rent bill. So I figured, let's talk about that. That's where I am right now. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do long term. Originally, when I got this job, I thought maybe I'll stick with it for a year, regardless of what happens. I mean, as far as what they offer me full time, if they even offer me full time. I've been strung along before. I spent most of my 20s as a temp, leading up to the warranty repair job I got that led into my personal sole proprietorship. I did warranty repair for 4 years, leading into my own thing. That's kind of how I got into my own thing. I was able to siphon off those clients. They would keep my phone number and call me for non-warranty repair work. And then I'd charge them an hourly rate to show up. And eventually I got a shop. It was a small office. And my best year, I probably made 80 grand, a livable wage. And in the beginning, I made almost nothing. But I also didn't have a rent bill for that office in the very beginning. A friend had it, and she started charging me like nominal amounts of money for it. And eventually, after, a year, she decided she didn't need it anymore, and I got the whole rent bill. So that 200 square foot office was only costing me about $600. It was not a huge rent bill, but it was a tiny office. So anyway, back to temping. I've decided, I haven't really decided how I'm going to do this because I got to figure out how to make a more livable wage, because $20 is what I'm making per hour now. That's not a livable wage. It says something since I don't have a rent bill. I've accrued some debt, which is just, I had to accrue the debt to keep fed. And I didn't go haplessly spend money on junk. I spent money on food, a few equipment purchases, but they were directly related to the work. I wasn't irresponsible. It's frustrating because they're talking about in the news how wages are down, and I'm feeling it. I recognize it. I'm living it. In California, if you want to go flip burgers at McDonald's, it's a $20 an hour job. That's what I'm getting paid, and I've been an IT professional for 20 years. And I'm starting to realize I'm actually probably a little more skilled than I realized. This job here is, I'm getting my hands on some tools I haven't touched in a while, like Active Directory. But as far as technical prowess goes, I'm not being challenged. And I don't mean to say that I'm some rock star, brilliant engineer. But this job is, I don't know if it's a long-term job for me. I did want to stick with it for a year just because I wanted stability, and I knew if I was going to stay in the if I'm going to stay working for someone else, I need stability. I need to prove stability. I've been on my own for 12 years or more. Yeah, if I can't prove I can handle another job outside of that for a year, well, then people have good reason to question my stability. I mean, being on my own for 12 years is stability. But if I can't work in a regular environment, people start to wonder about that guy who's been self-employed. Yeah, he's been on his own too long. He's bad management. Am I going to have trouble with him showing up on time every day? Is he going to be combative when I tell him how to do things? Because he's obviously got some managerial skills being on his own. You have to be. You have to be good with scheduling. You have to be good with other contractors. I can't honestly say I've led a large team of individuals, but I have had a few contractors that I have led in contracts that were, or jobs that were medium-sized or small, well, jobs that were big enough to where I warranted hiring someone to help me with them. Part of that is, I guess that's a whole nother topic, isn't it? I have a physical disability. I don't know how many know that, but yeah, I type one-handed. There's certain details I can't do with my right hand. So my point is that's how I got into hiring my friends as contractors. I can't crimp an Ethernet cable. I can. It takes me twice as long. But anyway, yeah, I just said a bunch right there. Yeah, so I got to figure out what I want to do. Now, I have decided to use my downtime to study. I want to get a project management certificate, which I've never formally earned. Just because, obviously, if HR wants to hire me, they need to have some sort of tangibility. They need some sort of evidence that I'm management. Being on your own, it's management. And I have my online reviews to add to the resume, which in the first part of my resume does say, hey, look, I got a 5-star presence online. So it shows that my customer base enjoys my efforts. But yeah, wow, I didn't realize I had that much talk today. Yeah, I was thinking about how often I should go online because there's a lot going on in here. I just don't think most people think it's that interesting because I'm an esoteric individual. I got weird thoughts and it's like, do I really want to talk about that? But here we are. Let's see what else. Yeah. I think I'm going to call my contractor tomorrow and ask him for an extra $1 or $2 an hour because this, yeah, I don't know how you maintain quality. I'm working for a very large company. You got to pay a livable wage if you want quality to stick around. I'm literally earning the same as a McDonald's employee. And I don't mean that to be condescending. My point is I've got 20 years of expertise. You need to pay a technical expert for that knowledge and that skill and that wisdom. So I'm a little frustrated. I know that they like me because 2 months in, it's been almost 4 at this point, 3. So yeah, it must have been less than two months in. They called me up and said, yeah, if you can hang for another 4 months, they said after 6 months, they'll hire me full time. Well, I don't know. It kind of feels like exploitation. I mean, after 3 months, I grew up. 3 months has always been the typical probationary period. Now you want me to work another 3 months, earning half what the job is worth? I'll do it for the 3 months. I will give you that benefit of the doubt. 3 months is good. You get to figure out if I'm worth hanging out. And I also understand exactly how temping works. The temp agency finds me, I apply with them, I get the job on paper with them. They pay me the wage that is basically half what I would be getting. That creates a paper it separates me from the company I'm performing labor for, legally, that makes it a phone call away from making me go away if I don't work out at any period. So there's that. But then, of course, the agency makes money. They could be making anywhere from a few dollars an hour off of me to pretty much exactly what I'm earning. So if I'm making 20 bucks an hour, they're also making 20 bucks an hour off of me. That is how this works. So if you got some gumption, you could do it for 3 months. But now, after the 3 months, it's like, okay, you want me to earn half my wage for my skill set. Well, I know what this job is worth. It's basically twice what I'm getting paid. It's not necessarily what my skill set is. Like I said, I've got some managerial skills. After that 3 months, it starts to feel like exploitation. And I tend to think a lot of what we hear about in the news is hyperbole, but I'm personally experiencing that lack of wage. It's been 11 minutes. Yeah, I'm over 11 minutes. But anyway, so if you guys like these conversations, I'll start doing them more often. That's why I've only been doing this about once a week, just because I don't know how interesting anyone else could think I am. But anyway, there we go. That's what's on my mind at the moment. Obviously, it's in the evening. I'm done with my day. And I might have something to say tomorrow. Have a great night. Otherwise, I'm okay. I'm just kind of figuring out what I'm supposed to do here. I'm trying to make the proper decisions. Go ahead and comment and let me know what you think I should do.